From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday will lead the condemnation of a total of close to 3 million forfeited electronic vapes, vape parts, and accessories at the Office of the Commissioner grounds of the Bureau of Customs or BOC at South Harbor Port Area in Manila. The 3.26 billion peso worth of confiscated electronic vapes, parts, and accessories were the result of 10 seizure operations led by the Port of Manila, Manila International Container Port, and Intelligence Group. The President is expected to be accompanied by several members of the Cabinet, including Finance Secretary Ralph Recto, Secretary Maria Cristina Roque of the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI, Presidential Communications Office or PCO Secretary J. Ruiz, and Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumagi Jr. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive is also expected to attend later Monday afternoon the oath-taking ceremony of the 39 star-ranked officers of the Philippine National Police or PNP. The newly promoted star-rank officers are composed of Major Generals and Brigadier Generals. In a statement Sunday, PNP Chief General Romel Francisco Marbil said, "The police force does not need generals in title, but generals in character." Marbil added that their promotion is not merely about wearing new stars on their shoulders. It's about the impact they will make. General Marbil said, as leaders, the officers are expected to serve as the driving force behind the PNP's intensified initiatives to secure communities, ensure public safety, and reinforce institutional trust.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. signed 2 laws declaring special holidays in the provinces of Basilan and Sarangani. Republic Act or RA 12142 proclaims November 28th of every year a special non-working holiday in Sarangani in commemoration of its foundation anniversary. RA 12143, on the other hand, declares March 7th a special non-working holiday in Basilan in observance of its founding anniversary that will be known as Araw ng Basilan. The holiday declaration in Basilan is also in recognition of the Tenun Pakaradyaan as the province's official festival. Tenun Pakaradyaan is an annual cultural festival in Basilan to celebrate the Yakan culture, particularly the preserved tradition of tapestry weaving. Tenun is the woven fabric made by Yakan people, while Pakaradyaan means merrymaking in the languages of the Tausug and Yakan. RAs 12142 and 12143 takes effect 15 days after its publication in the official gazette or in a newspaper of general circulation.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. also signed 7 other laws authorizing the establishment and conversion of offices of the Land Transportation Office or LTO in 7 areas nationwide. Republic Act or RA 12135 creates a new LTO office in Liloy, Zamboanga del Norte Province, while RA 12140 authorizes the construction of a similar office in Pandan, Antique Province. RAs 12137 and 12138 established an LTO office in Cordova and Consolacion towns in Cebu Province. RA 1236 converts the LTO Extension Office in Las Piñas City, Metro Manila, into the Las Piñas City LTO Licensing Center. The district office of the LTO in Rosales, Pangasinan Province is also converted into a Class A district office based on RA 12139. According to RA 12141, the extension office in Burgos, Ilocos Norte Province is converted into a regular district office and named as Burgos LTO District Office. The laws mandate the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, or DOTR, to include in the department's programs the operationalization of the LTO's new and converted offices. The initial funding for the conversion of offices will be charged against their current year's appropriations. The succeeding funding requirements will be included in the Annual General Appropriations Act or GAA, the same case for the new offices. The laws, signed by the President on March 27th, takes effect 15 days after its publication in the Official Gazette or in any newspaper of general circulation.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said the national government would continue assisting Filipino job hunters and nano-entrepreneurs. The President issued the assurance when he visited the Trabaho at Serbisyong Pangkalusugan sa Bagong Pilipinas Job Fair at Antipolo Sports Hub in Antipolo City, Rizal Province. In his speech, the Chief Executive said, besides jobs training, equipment and small investments are also given to start their small businesses. President Marcos thanked the employers who went to the job fair and provided jobs and opportunities to those in need. The Chief Executive also thanked the Local Government Unit or LGU for their good coordination with the national government for making this possible.
Binibigyan pati ng suporta sa equipment, sa training, at kahit sa mabigyan ng kaunting puhunan para makapag-start po ng kanilang mga bagong negosyo, kahit na maliliit lamang. Pinag-uusapan po natin dati, lagi natin sinasabi ang medium and small scale enterprises. Ngayon napunta na po tayo sa micro enterprise, nano enterprise ang tawag din. At magpapasalamat din ako sa mga employer. At dahil yung mga employer po ay kinausap namin na makapunta rito upang yung mga nag-a-apply sa iba't ibang klaseng trabaho ay mabigyan naman ng pagkakataon. At magpapasalamat din ako siyempre sa local government. Kung hindi naman maganda ang ugnayan ng local government at saka national government, hindi po ganito ang magiging programa natin. Hindi kasing ganda nito.
President Marcos said his administration is taking a whole-of-government approach to make sure that Filipinos from the marginalized sector would get the necessary support. At least 766 job vacancies were offered by 10 participating employers in the job fair. Job vacancies are available to some 300 job seekers who are beneficiaries of the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situation or AICS program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD. Around 1,800 graduating beneficiaries of the DSWD's Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, also received 3,000 pesos each under the IEX. The Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, distributed various integrated livelihood program packages to several beneficiaries and conducted an orientation for 122 beneficiaries of the Tulong Panghanapbuhay para sa Ating Disadvantaged or Displaced Workers Program, or TUPAD. The Department of Health, or DOH, turned over anti-dengue commodities and offered free medicines, medical services such as screening laboratories, X-rays, and electrocardiograms, vaccination for pneumonia, and medical consultations.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Interagency Humanitarian Contingent, or PIAHC, continues its crucial rescue and medical operations in Myanmar over a week after a massive 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck the Southeast Asian country. In a statement on Saturday, the Office of Civil Defense, or OCD, said the 89-member contingent, which arrived on April 1st and 2nd, remains on the ground working in coordination with international partners to aid affected communities and reinforce the Philippines' commitment to global humanitarian efforts. On April 4th, Lieutenant Colonel Erwin Diploma, Philippine Air Force, or PAF Contingent Commander, visited the urban search and rescue operations at the collapsed Jade City Hotel in Nai Pi Tao, where the Filipino responders, alongside Myanmar, Vietnamese, and Indonesian teams, are searching for possible survivors. While rescue efforts continue, the Philippine medical teams are also providing essential care. The Philippine Emergency Medical Assistance Teams, or PEMAT, Type 1 Fixed Hospital near Boingaong Temple opened on April 4th to serve locals with free consultations, following 17 consultations by the 2nd Augmentation Team in Lewi Township the day before. The day before, the 2nd Augmentation Team at Lewi Township Hospital conducted 17 consultations covering general medicine, surgery, orthopedics, and obstetrics. In Pinmana, the PEMAT Hospital started operations on April 3rd, treating 94 patients, including 68 for general medicine and 20 for surgical care. Mandalay is the hardest hit region with 2,053 deaths and 2,691 injuries.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Malacañang lauded law enforcement agencies for their swift action in arresting Russian-American vlogger Vitaly Zdorovetsky, who was accused of harassing Filipinos in viral videos. In an interview, Palace Press Officer and Presidential Communications Office, or PCO Undersecretary Claire Castro said, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. was made aware of the incident and swiftly ordered authorities to take action. Castro credited the Philippine National Police, or PNP, the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, or CIDG, and the Bureau of Immigration, or BI, for their joint efforts in apprehending the vlogger. She confirmed that Zdorovetsky is detained at the BI facility at Camp Bagong Diwa in Bicutan and is undergoing inquest proceedings. Castro said Zdorovetsky is expected to be deported and could be declared persona non grata. The Palace Press Officer also said the Filipino cameraman working with Zdorovetsky may also face charges. Castro stressed that foreign vloggers are welcome in the Philippines, but they must respect local laws and customs. She further explained that freedom of expression must be balanced with responsibility. 34-year-old Zdorovetsky was arrested last week at the Seaside Boulevard in Pasay City after the BI declared him an undesirable alien. CIDG Director Major General Nicholas Torre III said the arrest followed an online uproar over Zdorovetsky's content, which included pretending to rob a woman and mocking a security guard. BI Commissioner Joel Viado stressed that the Philippines welcomes visitors from all over the world, but those who abuse the country's hospitality and abuse laws will be held accountable. Viado added that harassment and disruptive behavior have no place in society and law enforcers will take swift action against offenders.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, Philippine House Speaker Martin Romualdez said President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s economic interventions to curb food prices are paying off after inflation eased to its lowest level in nearly 5 years. In a statement, Romualdez said the intervention measures taken by the President and his administration, like the drastic reduction in tariff on rice imports and the setting of maximum retail prices for rice and other food items, are paying off. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA, inflation in March slowed to 1.8% from 2.1% in February. Romualdez pointed to falling rice prices as the main reason for the easing inflation. The House Speaker said he hopes inflation will continue to fall or stay below 2%, but warned that the rainy season could put upward pressure on food costs. He said the House of Representatives would continue to support anti-inflation efforts through legislation and oversight. Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda, chair of the Ways and Means Committee, also welcomed the latest inflation data, particularly the 7.7% year-on-year decline in rice prices. He, however, warned of rising meat prices, which jumped by 8.2% in March. Salceda said lower corn prices could eventually lead to reduced meat and fish prices in the coming months, but the current spike in meat costs is still cause for some concern.
Dateline Malacañang.
Brazil Ambassador to the Philippines, Gilberto Fonseca Guimarães de Moura said, the South American country could serve as the Philippines' strategic gateway to Latin America as both countries seek to deepen trade and economic cooperation. In his message at the recent The Philbiz News Embassy Night at Hotel Okura in Pasay City, De Moura said, commerce between the Philippines and Brazil has already grown immensely in the last few years. In 2024, trade between the two states reached approximately $2.4 billion, a 31% increase compared to 2023. With the growing trade ties, De Moura said, there is an immense potential in the more than 7-decade-old relations that the two countries could further explore. The Brazilian embassy in Manila recently assigned its newest agriculture attaché, who is tasked to help promote agriculture trade and assist Philippine buyers to source Brazilian food products. On top of trade, De Moura said, Manila and Brazil could also expand cooperation on renewable energy, particularly ethanol and biofuels, science, technology and innovation, outer space, education, among others. The Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, earlier urged Filipino exporters to explore opportunities in Latin American countries, a market of over 600 million consumers for processed food, personal care products, and other fast-moving consumer items.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, has assured its full readiness to activate its contingency plan to assist and protect overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, in Taiwan as tension with China continues to escalate. In a statement, Migrant Workers Secretary Leo Magpayo said, the DMW is in close coordination with Manila Economic and Cultural Office, or MECO chairperson, and resident representative Cheloy Garafil, so they could immediately respond should the situation worsen. Tension in the region sparked as China sent its army, navy, air, and rocket forces to surround Taiwan for exercises described by Beijing as practice for precision strikes and blockade. China sees Taiwan as its breakaway province and has threatened to annex the self-ruled island by force if necessary. Kakdak said there are around 250,000 Filipinos living and working in Taiwan. The DMW Secretary urged OFWs in Taiwan to remain calm and stay informed through official government channels.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, announced its traffic plans for the upcoming Semana Santa, or Holy Week, to ensure the safety and convenience of both motorists and commuters. In a press briefing at the MMDA headquarters in Pasig City, MMDA Chair Romando Artes said there will be a full deployment of 2,542 field personnel and 468 assets in major roads and transport hubs in the National Capital Region, or NCR. Artes said Oplan Semana Santa will be activated beginning April 16th with the MMDA to enforce a no day off, no absent policy for field traffic personnel. The MMDA chair said skeletal deployment will be enforced on April 18, 19, and 20 to focus on the usual Visita Iglesia sites, including the Panata or Vow route going to Antipolo and Grotto. The MMDA Road Emergency Group will also be on standby to provide basic roadside emergency services, while ambulances and tow trucks will also be deployed in strategic locations. Road emergency personnel will also be on standby to provide medical assistance and first aid. The MMDA will also conduct cleaning and road clearing operations in various NCR roads to ensure unimpeded vehicular and pedestrian movement. Meanwhile, Artes said provincial buses will be temporarily allowed on EDSA on April 9th and from April 16th to the 20th for the expected influx of travelers during the Holy Week. He said buses are allowed on EDSA from 10 in the evening until 5 in the morning on April 9th and will be allowed 24 hours on the major thoroughfare from the 16th to the 20th of April. For motorists, he said, the Unified Vehicular Volume Reduction Program, or UVVRP, or the number coding scheme, will be suspended on April 17 and 18, or Maundy, Thursday, and Good Friday.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radio Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.